I lived in the northern part of Sakha, or Yakutia, Russia for around 10 years, and I've encountered a lot of weird shit there. I'll start with some context. B13. Dad and mom break up because dad is abusive. Mom loses court case and dad gains custody. After divorce, dad changes and starts seeing weirdo for life advice. Some guy tells him that he needs to cut himself from society to awaken his third eye or some shit. So we move from Sankt Peterburg to motherfucking City 5, a town so fucking secluded it didn't have a name. Life as you'd expect was fucking shit and boring. The schools there don't even teach English, the official Yakut language, or even basic sciences. The locals are cool though, so on to the paranormal stuff. I'll start off with the creepiest one. I've personally never encountered it. In fact, I've only known 3 people who claim they have, but the whole of City 5 is scared of it. We call it the Flat Man. It's said to appear in some of the most rural areas of the region. The best way I could describe it is to compare it to a living shadow, but it's more like a void in the shape of a human on the floor. Its shape cannot appear on trees or buildings, only on the ground. Apparently the Flat Man has made entire tribes of people disappear. In 1989, a group of around 10 people went to hunt it. 2 months later, clothing started to wash up in the local river. It was their clothing. Apart from being wet, the clothing wasn't damaged. The next night, screaming could be heard outside the town. Another time, some guy was hunting deer. He spotted a deer, but it seemed to have its legs stuck in something. When he got closer, he could see the Flat Man holding the deer's leg. It then started making a pulling motion. You know what happens when something is pulled through a tiny hole? Well, that is what basically happened to the deer. Not a trace of the deer left. Hunter instantly runs as far away as he can. I have a classmate, let's call him Igor. Igor's dad has encountered the Flat Man at one point. Be him. 1992. He works for a small wood-cutting business. Patches of forest are valuable in Yakutia, so if your boss tells you to go, you can't object. So he's at the spot and he comes across uprooted trees in the shape of a spiral. He tries to GTFO but keeps coming back to the spiral. Notices that the other trees are still bending. Starts feeling weird sensation. His own body is swayed towards the spiral. The pull gets so strong that he has to push himself off trees to move. Then suddenly, all the uprooted trees get sucked up into the ground. The force of the pull is so strong it breaks one of his arms. He looks over and there's a massive fucking hole where the spiral was. In the hole he could make out the Flat Man. He starts moving in a swimming motion. See, the Flat Man is called that instead of like Shadow Man because he doesn't move like one. When you turn, your shadow changes shape to reflect that. But the Flat Man can't do that. He can't move his arm through his chest. So he moves in this weird swimming motion. Igor's dad starts running and Flat Man gives chase. The Flat Man can fuck with shadows. Every time a shadow of a tree gets in his way, he kinda swats it away and the entire tree breaks. He makes it to his car and manages to lose it. Me and a few friends actually managed to stumble onto the crater. And sure enough, it was in the shape of a spiral. It was overgrown. The entire time we were near it, everything felt floaty. We couldn't feel, smell, or taste. And the last guy I know of that encountered the Flat Man died in 2006. But someone told his story. Apparently he was a hermit and lived away from the town. One day he noticed the land had risen slightly and messed with the foundation of the house, which was like the one in the pic. It keeps rising, so he gets a guy to take a look at it. Dude sees it and tells him to leave immediately. Hermit is stuck up, so he stays. He awakes to half his house missing and a giant pillar in the sky. Some locals saw the pillar in the sky. A few of the braver ones go to check it out. They find the guy. He's out cold. Guy's legs are missing. Said his legs were so cleanly cut they weren't even bleeding. They get the guy and drive away. A few minutes later, pillar goes back down. Hermit wakes up. Says the Flat Man grabbed the shadow of his legs and took them off before he passed out. Never went to the location because he genuinely lived in a scary as fuck place full of bears and wolves. The flat man is the creepiest one by far. Nomads cover their ears if you bring them up or straight up start a fight with you. Some of the more integrated nomads tell tales of how ancient tribes tried their hardest to eradicate it and went missing. He's the only thing that no one dares to fuck with. People don't like talking about him. Okay, X. I was obsessed with Goatman slash Skinwalker slash mimicry stories for a while, but I haven't looked in a while. And then this happened to me last night, and now I literally cannot sleep or stop shitting my pants due to its proximity to my house. I'll try to green text as much as I can, but first, background. I'm 21 and a college senior from Connecticut. While I live in a semi-rural area, about 20 minutes to closest supermarket slash fast food, I go to school in Washington, D.C. Not the nice part either. The part where crackheads are a real thing and cops are reassuring rather than troublesome. I've definitely seen some shit in my day. It would be good to mention here that I'm not some glandular freak, but I'm about 6'1" and 240 pounds. A lot of muscle, but Lord knows I could drop 15 pounds. I love to smoke pot, get drunk, and eat. Sue me. Being the good student that I am, I picked a real major, accounting, and I interned for a mid-sized PR firm doing accounting bitch work and getting paid $20 an hour. College is expensive as fuck though, so I deliver pizzas at night after the office closes. It's a cheap, drunk food kind of pizza place that has an absurdly large delivery radius and is around 20 minutes from my house, 5 minutes from the beach. My place is north of there and we deliver probably another 15 minutes past my house. I'm actually typing this at work in between examining the fine print on our client contracts to ensure we are charging them every penny we can. Cheap bastards. So basically, the further north you go from the pizza place, the more rural it gets. I work until close, and this occurs around 9:45 p.m. Be me, in the back folding pizza boxes like a good little corporate bitch. Counter girl comes back with a delivery slip. She tells me the customer sounded weird on the phone, kind of like he was talking through a fan or through his hands and that he was almost like gurgling. My DC experience instantly makes me think crackhead, although around here it's way more likely to be some benzo freak or painkiller addict. Automatically assuming some weird interaction will occur. Look at address. See, it isn't kind of bumblefuck. I'm a little mad because I don't want to drive that far, but fuck it. Weirdest ticket I've ever seen. Guy ordered a large pizza with anchovies, ground beef, ham, sausage, pepperoni, etc. Literally $15 worth of extras. I go ask the counter girl if it's right. She says she thinks so. She couldn't really make it out though, so she said she did her best. She's like 16, so I cut her some slack. Assumed she was daydreaming and called the number back. Phone rings 5, 10, 20, 30 times. No answer. Hang up. Call again. Phone goes right to, the number you have dialed does not have a voicemail box that has been set up yet. Goodbye. Okay then, .jpg. Manager decides to just make the pizza as ordered and proceed from there. Deliver a pizza to a hilariously obese and blackout drunk couple. Invited me in for drinks, but I don't drink or smoke when I work. Hope someone else took weird pizza. Surprise, no one did. It's my turn. Begrudgingly take the pizza and get in my car. Enter the address into phone. It's on a side street adjacent to a park locals call open space, which despite the name is about 500 acres of straight woods. It's about 25 minutes away, basically just the edge of our reign. Put on some dubstep, judge me, and crank my turbo Subi, judge me more, out to this road. If you're not from a rural area, this can be hard to explain. Winter in the woods is scary. There is never a single sound, ever. Unless there's something larger than a cat walking around, it's you and dead silence. Finally get to address. There are a few houses on the street, but they sit on probably 5 acres, so they are spaced out a fair amount. Looking for number 1134. I pass 1130, then a long stretch of nothing. Then 1144, WTF.jpg. I just want to get this over with and get the next delivery without getting stabbed by some pillhead over a fucking pizza. Call the number. Rings, rings, stops ringing. There's no sound, but instead kind of like a buzzing or a humming. It's hooked up to my car stereo, and it's getting louder and louder until I just hang up because I don't want it to ruin my speakers. Windows are fogging up because at this point I'm pulled over between these two houses. Right when I roll the windows down, I am overcome by the odor of decaying trash, like driving through Newark, New Jersey. Fucking gross, so I put the car in first and I start pulling towards the next house. At the end of the driveway, there's a stanchion with a light on top. Gonna pull into this house and knock and ask if maybe they gave the wrong number over the phone. Makes sense for a pillhead. I'm probably 100 feet away when I see someone step out of the darkness into the light at the bottom of the driveway. Good, it's the fucker that ordered. Expecting this guy to be all over the fucking place. Leaning over and being fucked up. Guy isn't that fucked. Stopped the car about 10 feet from him. Black coat that looks 3 times too big for him, even though he's probably got 5 inches on me. Don't look at him at first. Getting pizza out of car and getting ticket and change as I talk. Hey sir, sorry about the wait and the calls. This is pretty far. No response. Realize I should be watching him considering the signs. The smell is still pretty pungent, but I know it's not trash day. I get the pizza on the roof of my car. He's standing under the light on the opposite side of my car. So I got out of my driver's seat and went to driver rear to get pizza. Put pizza on roof of driver rear. Guy is probably 10 feet away from passenger rear. I finally pay enough attention to get a good look at him. Giant tall, no shoes, ripped up jeans, stains everywhere. Big jacket is mentioned. Look at his face, sunken eyes. Can't even see them with the light. Get real sketched out cause guy hasn't moved or said a word. Stop the process and just stare at the guy. He's staring right at me with those freaky fucking eyes. His head sort of bobbing side to side, but not in any fluid sense at all. Kind of like a car door, like how it stops it halfway open, then you give it another shove and it stops it all the way open. I watch his head do this in no real pattern for probably 10 seconds. Starting to get really uneasy between the stench in the head thing and the eyes and the not fucking answering. I stand frozen and so does he. Without breaking eye contact, I take my phone out of my pocket and hold it level with the roof so I can look at the guy and my phone at the same time. Go to recent calls. Call the number for the guy. Call it. Phone starts ringing, but I hear no phone anywhere. Then, out of the quiet of the woods, I hear, faintly, so faintly, a fucking cell phone ringing back there and maybe 50 or 100 yards away. This is my kicking myself for not getting my concealed carry yet. This is me almost shitting myself. The guy's just standing there doing the head thing, but I swear I see that fucker smile. Finally get the courage to speak. Can you please come get this? Also, I think you may have dropped your phone when you were hiding a body or whatever in the woods. Nervously laugh, still thinking maybe this guy dug too deep into the prescription bottle or found some PCP or some shit. I see his mouth open, head still bobbing, feet planted to the ground. He makes a sort of low, guttural, quick grunt, then a high grunt, then a low grunt. They're sort of soft, kind of like someone clearing their throat. I've shut the rear passenger door at this point, and I'm ready to book it to the driver's seat if I got to. Just as I go to call that phone again, I hear words. The phone's not mine. The pause between the and phone's not was way too long. Phone's not literally sounded like one word. Mine came off an octave higher. My mind is DEFCON 5, just like full panic attack. Knees are weak. I'm literally about to peace out. I push the pizza to the far side of the roof away from me. Finally muster out, "Sir, you're freaking me the fuck out. I have a 45 and less than $20 on me. Please come take this so I can leave." When I say this, the head bobbing stops. His eyes are dark and burning a hole through my skull. Opens his mouth again. It was his. What? I say, stunned. It was his. The phone was his. The guy comes towards the car, not a step, but like one huge muscle spasm that propels him forward. The phone was His, he repeats. I'm on the verge of tears at this point. Standing next to open driver's side door, pizza is on roof over passenger rear door. Guy jerk jumps once closer to the car. The phone is not his anymore. I blubber wordless and then gathering man balls, I scream, I'm gonna call the fucking cops and blow your fucking drug addict head off if you don't get the fuck out of here. I see this fucker smile, this creepy fucking smile, and without moving his mouth, I hear him say in a completely different voice. A voice I've never heard before. Go away, stop following me. I will call the police. In one big jerky motion, the thing reaches forward, takes the pizza off the top of the car and places a couple round things that I later identify as quarters on the roof, surrounded by dark liquid that spreads over the roof. I don't even think, just get in the car and peel out down the road. Leave the hot sleeve for the pizza. Leave the shit on the roof. Don't even close the door all the way. I go down the road at about 80 for a quarter mile, then pull a U-turn because I don't want to get even more lost with this psycho here. I whip down the road past the place where he was. Nothing. Finally get to the end of the road. There's a stop sign to merge with the main road. Look right to make sure it's clear. Look left. This thing's face is 12 inches from my own when I turn. Tactically shit myself. Peel down the road. Finally make it back to pizza place. Shaking like bloody hell. Smoke a joint just to calm me down, which I never do when I'm working. I walk in the front door of pizza place. Hey Anna, that guy at the open space house just called back. He said you forgot some food, but he only ordered the pizza, right? He said come back, I don't know. I start crying. Look at my phone, which has been thrown through the car with my driving. 14 fucking missed calls from that number. Literally in tears. All the voicemails are empty except the last one. All I can hear is ragged breathing and those low gruntings. Fucking bawling my eyes out in front of this hot-ass counter girl, and I don't even give a fuck. Sit for 10 minutes and calm down. Remember the change on the roof. Go out to car and turn on flashlight. The roof of my car was covered in the most viscous, weird liquid, but it smells like blood and I throw up immediately. In the panel gap between my trunk and the end of my rear window, I find the quarters, covered in the same maple syrup, thick goop blood shit, and stuck to it are soft little chunks of what I can only imagine is tissue. Go to open my car and my blood turns to fucking ice. There is a single line of blood going from the front quarter panel to the driver's side door. The fucking thing tried to open my motherfucking door when it was next to me at the stop sign. Tactically cry and poop my pants. I go back in. Tell counter girl to try and call the number again. She tries over and over and over, but the phone goes right to voicemail. Next morning I give the number to my uncle, who is a police captain a few towns over. Says the number is from a burner phone, paid in cash, basically untraceable, and it appeared to be off now. I sleep with the lights on now.